Hey guys, Weir, roadtoguru.com. Looks like Mr. Kobayashi is back. The Mount Gox trustee just transferred 16,000 Bitcoin. Remember the last time they slammed Bitcoin, it was 35,000 Bitcoin. All timed. If you go to the Road to Ruda YouTube channel, you can find my analysis of it called Operation Crypto Crush. Check that out. It was all timed. It was done perfectly in collusion with the banksters. This time it's a little different, and let me tell you why. First, let's go over the news. 140 million in Bitcoin moved from Mt. Gox wallet this morning. Approximately 16,000 BTC associated with the infamous and now defunct Bitcoin exchange Mt. Gox were moved on Thursday, sparking speculation that the estate's trustee is preparing to liquidate more coins. The transactions, worth nearly 141 million, were first flagged by CryptoGround, a service that monitors Mt. Gox Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash wallets. Blockchain data indicates that the coins, which came from multiple addresses, were consolidated into a single wallet with 0 BTC remaining in the source address. And there's the links to it. You can find this on CCN.com. 140 million in Bitcoin moved from Mt. Gox. So here's my take. There's some interesting stuff here. Let me read it. Notably, the 16,000 Bitcoin Cash stored that corresponded to those same addresses were moved as well. Those coins are worth approximately 21 million at the present exchange rate. The transaction sparked questions about whether Kobayashi, the Tokyo lawyer in charge of Mt. Gox estate, is preparing to sell the funds in order to compensate the bankruptcy company's creditors. Well, here's a problem with that. I'm just saying, the creditors are owed only $20 million. Expenses so far have been about $7 million, and the rest, there's some outstanding potential things, but it doesn't come to $160 million with a Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. So here's what I think is happening. They were busted so thoroughly last time, and you can tell when each sale happened, bang, 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 bang. And it was obviously in order to suppress the price. Now, there's rumors that this wallet that all these coins are transferred to is a wallet at Kraken. Kraken is one of the largest exchanges. Kraken had offered many times to sell the cryptos for Mt. Gox. Many people are speculating that Kraken is being hired to sell it so it doesn't cause any troubles in the market. I would think no. I would think deeper. I think it's a ploy, a plan, a scam, going along with what they got busted with last time. So now they know they can't do the same thing that they did before. So my take is that right here, you look at the Bitcoin price for the week, and it was running up. It was running up, doing well, got right here. Bang. Slammed down on Tuesday. And here's an interesting thing. See this little bump right here? Somebody bumped it up. So if you're in with what was done last time and what was done with silver and what was done with natural gas and official manipulation, they always bump it up right before they slam it down. So this was bang, slammed down right here on Tuesday. So how can the Mt. Gox, the question is this Mt. Gox crypto involved at all? It can be really easy. Make a deal with Kraken and have Kraken dump it on the market, because remember, Kraken doesn't deal in real Bitcoin. They deal in virtual Bitcoin and just pools. So if the Kobayashi and the market riggers for the cryptos call up Kraken and say, okay, here's what we want to do. We want to dump the price of Bitcoin. We want you to sell a whole bunch, and we'll give it to you in 2 days. We'll transfer it over in 2 days, because we can't have that paper trail following us again this time. But we need to bring the price of cryptos down. So what do? They give it to Kraken. Kraken completely rejects the CFTC and the SEC's request to inform them about market manipulation and who the traders are, how many positions are. They completely rejected that request just a week ago. So really interesting stuff. And they were really the only big name exchange that said, no, we're not going to do it. And then, of course, the criminal trustee and the people who control the trustee said, okay, we got to get these coins over to Kraken so they can do a manipulation move because they're not going to turn us in. They've already said they won't. And by the way, we can tell them we're going to bring the price of Bitcoin down so they can make money as well. Conspiracy theory, absolutely. Is it a lucky coincidence that on Tuesday the price took a dump, and then on Wednesday the price took a dump, and Thursday at the beginning of the day the price took a dump, and then it was Thursday that the coins were transferred? I don't think that's a coincidence, but it started right here. So we might be done because I think it started right here with this jump up, classic manipulation. And remember, he doesn't need 140 million worth of Bitcoin to satisfy the creditors. Only 20. So did he dump all 16,000? No, just because you transfer to a different wallet doesn't mean that that the coins are sold at all. But they might be keeping them, on the side just in case we want to do some more market rigging. So I don't think this is a real move. I think Kobayashi did the another Kobayashi move. If you want to know more about the Mt. Gox bankruptcy, how many outstanding claims there are, just go to mountgox.com, and there's a report on there. It was released on the 7th. It's the same report, March 7th. It's the same report that they announced. Oh, by the way, we've sold almost all of the Bitcoin to pay off creditors, but not quite. We're gonna leave 20 million out there because we're gonna have to rig the markets again, which I think they just did. But that breaks down how much cash they have, and these are Japanese yen. It's about 110 to 1 for the US dollar. And then expenses and all that. So I don't think they're gonna sell the 140 million dollars or 160 million dollars if you include the Bitcoin Cash. I don't think they have any mandate to do that. They don't need that much money to end this bankruptcy. They can end it with, maybe 30 or 40 million dollars. They don't need the full 160 million. But if they're trying to manipulate price, they might be doing something else. So anyway, that is your update on the insanity of Mt. Gox again. And I will title this one something like Mt. Gox, I'm back. Big Weir, I'll talk to you later. Give me a thumbs up, too. Send it to your friends. Hey, guys, I just finished filming a discussion of Mt. Gox, the trustee's latest transfer of Bitcoin, and how I think it's playing out. I do think they're selling some of it because they still have about 30 or 40 million dollars of expenses and claims to pay, potentially some more, but not the 160 million. And I talk about that in the video. But a lot of people have missed my last analysis, the forensic analysis of the Operation Silver, I'm so stuck in silver because it's almost identical. Operation Crypto Crush, which was planned and executed the end of last year into right up until tax time. So if you're interested in that, I am going to attach it to this video. It's a breakdown of how it went down the last time, who was involved, and it wasn't just a sale that happened on, it didn't start on December 18th when the crypto started going down. It started in the middle of November, maybe even before that, but the middle of November when the price of Bitcoin was $6,000, they brought it up to $20,000 before they slammed it down. Very important part of market manipulation. You got to get the weak hands in, so you're just not giving away free cryptos to the strong hands. So you need a lot of weak hands that will freak out and panic when it gets slammed. So it's a two-part manipulation last time. The drive up and then the crash down. Now this is just residual stuff. I don't think this is this current manipulation, if it is a manipulation. It could be that the cryptos were just getting too heated and the trustee is sending that Bitcoin somewhere else. The fact of the matter for the trustee is there's just not many expenses left to justify selling $160 million worth of Bitcoin. And he would have to justify that to the courts. looks kind of like he's covering his ass on this latest maneuver by having Kraken sell beforehand before they actually transferred the Bitcoin. And yeah, they're not going to do what they got busted for last time. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of song and dance this guy Kobayashi does around the fair and appropriate sale of the Mt. Gox Bitcoin that everybody is wondering why this judge is allowing it to happen. Because they're controlling the monetary system. It's that easy, my friends. Anyway, this is Big Weir, and I will talk to you later. I'm going to attach the full breakdown right now. Hey guys, Big Weir, road2road.com. This is a Friday road trip for all you private road members. At some point, I'll probably publish this article to the public, but I want to make sure I take care of the private road people first. This is kind of a forensic analysis of what I'm calling Operation Crypto Crush. This was a planned and executed operation to slow down and shake the confidence of crypto holders by the people who are actually running the monetary system. So this was an official operation, but included a lot of people and a lot of entities that I want to go over. And the reason I can figure this stuff out is that I've been doing it for so long, and to me, it has become very obvious what operations are official and what are not official. The whole road to Root concept Root A is the computer programming term, and is the basis of our financial system. It was created by Alan Greenspan in the 1960s to run electronic money, and they've been in charge of every market since. And I've proven that many times at Road to Root. But this is more gets into the day-to-day larger operations, not the daily control of gold and silver prices or the crypto prices or things like that. This is more every once in a while they're going to throw a wrench into the mix to shake confidence and slow down the alternatives. I do believe they are not trying to crush the cryptos, and in the cryptos, there's a lot of evidence that shows that's not the plan. But they were definitely trying to slow it down because Bitcoin had been moving substantially in 2017. It got up to $6,000 by mid-November. And that's when they put all the pieces in place to run Operation Crypto Crush. And what I have done is I've posted kind of an outline of where it goes. I'm doing this video that I'll post at the top of the article as well. To show you how this was all broken down. And I have no doubt that this little outline was in the hands of the operators of this operation, probably in September, October timeframe, because that's how long it takes to plan it, get everybody on board to do their part, and to create this overall operation. And it was successful. It wasn't planned to kill the cryptos. Bitcoin is up 20% since mid-November, but it had a 325% rise to $20,000 and then a slam down based on certain things that I'll show you were planned and implemented. Okay, let's just go first of all. The following is an analysis of the planned crypto takedown by the official controllers of our monetary system. This comprises both the good guys and likely the bad guys, so I will not differentiate between the two other than to estimate that the final price takedown of the cryptos. This is normally when there's a big operation, there's a final crash, and I'll show you how that happens. But I don't think they're going to do that this time. They came close going down below near 6,000, but I don't think it's going to happen because that would be a really crushing blow. It would really take the wind out of the sails of Bitcoin for probably a few years, and they don't have a few years to wait. So here's the outline. Part one is setting up the artificial bubble. Now, first, let me show you this. Let me show you how I've done these analysis in the past. The first one I did was, you can find it at road2road.com, JP Morgan Operation Silver Slam. I had done another analysis before I knew what was going on the JP Morgan rigging of the natural gas market. And in that analysis, I talk about it right here at the beginning. You can see that on the price of natural gas was going crazy in 2005. Everybody thought, oh my God, there's no natural gas. What are we going to do? Remember, all commodities are traded on the COMEX, which is electronic rigging market. They can create trillions of contracts and not tell anybody about it, and that's the way prices are controlled for all commodities. So on November 18th, right when the price of natural gas was spiking to $15 per 1,000 cubic feet, the Federal Reserve posted a order that gave J.P. Morgan the right to deal in natural gas futures and options on the COMEX. I mean, it was so obvious, and I pointed it out at the time. If you were on the road to Ruta, actually, I was writing for GATA for Bill Murphy's site, Le Metropole Cafe at the time, and I said, "Oh my God, here we are, November 5th or November 18th, 2005, and J.P. Morgan has just given the reins of manipulation to rig the natural gas price. Everybody needs to get out of the natural gas market." Nobody heeded my warning, and here's what happened. Price of natural gas went from $6 all the way up to $15, and then November 18th, right in here, J.P. Morgan was given power to trade. They slammed down a little bit, but that's not the key. What the key is, they want to get the weak hands in. So they slammed it up over $15 in the next couple of weeks, and then kaboom, went down to $15. It just dove. The price crashed. JP Morgan shorted the crap out of it in this area back here. And then it kind of hung around what everybody thought was support at $6. $6 to $8 was normal in the past. And then this time frame was the final kill shot. Bang. JP Morgan comes in, dumps millions of billions of dollars worth of contracts on the market, driving the price of natural gas down below like $3. Something so ridiculous. And then from then on out, that market was controlled. That's how price manipulation worked. And I pointed this out back when the silver rigging was done, the 2011 price of silver, the rigging, and I showed who was in charge. The guy in charge was this guy named Bill Daley, and here he is right here. He's the head of Jamie Dimon's SWAT team at JP Morgan. They put Bill Daley as Barack Obama's chief of staff to control the price of silver. Absolutely. So let me show you the price of silver and what JP Morgan did at the Operation Silver Slam. Right here, the price of JP Morgan had inherited the Bear Stearns short position in silver, who was the controller of the price, and it was hovering around $25 right at the beginning of January 2011. That's when Bill Daley was put into office as Obama's chief of staff, and then you can see the computer manipulation trend just ran it up 45-degree angle straight up to $50 from mid-January when Bill Daley got in, all the way up there, getting in as many weak hands as possible, probably above $40. JP Morgan's shorting the crap out of it. It's driving, but still driving up the price to $50. And then on May 1st, Operation Silver Slam happens. They crash the price, throw billions and billions of ounces of fake silver onto the market, crashing the price down from $50. Initially it went down 20% in a matter of hours, and it was a Sunday night in light trading. That's the way manipulation is done. And then they let it hover here for a while, and then back in September, October, everybody's thinking, okay, into the fiscal year, everything's going to blow up for the U.S. government. Gold and silver are going to go crazy. And Bill Daley and J.P. Morgan slam it down again, going lower than anybody thought. And then by the end of the year, we were back at $26, $27, and Bill Daley left in the next few weeks of the beginning of the next year. That was Operation Silver Slam. And you can see how it was done. They brought in all the weak hands up here. There were even newscasts about the excitement around silver, blah, blah, blah. And the official price rigging, and everything got under control. This right here is what started the artificial bear market in silver. And as we all know, that bear market continues today in silver. Looking at a larger chart, we can easily see how the manipulation, how well the manipulation worked by looking at a chart. Let's just look last 18 years. It's pretty easy to see what has been going on in silver. And remember, here's where the run-up was and the slam. And then Bill Daley got out, and they got everything under control, and now everybody hates silver. So JP Morgan's still the largest derivative holder on the COMEX. They still have the thing that has changed is is that they've loaded up on physical silver because they know that's the place to be going forward. Okay, so that's how the operations work. On the official manipulation side, both of these were sanctioned by the U.S. government, absolutely. The natural gas, approval by the Federal Reserve and approval by the CFTC and the SEC aren't going to do anything. They run cover for JP Morgan because it's an official manipulation. All right, that's enough of that. Now let's move on to Operation Crypto Crush. Here's what was done. According to all the analysis I've done in the past, this worked the same exact way. They talked to the same people and got certain people to do things at certain times. So here's the way it went. In mid-November, Bitcoin was trading. It had been running up nice and strong, but steady. And it had hit $6,000 in mid-November. Then you have the announcements in November that the Bitcoin will be allowed to be traded on the COMEX futures and options. And everybody's like, oh, that's the entryway for the big money to get in. And everybody got everybody pumped and excited about Bitcoin. And then the big money, the big manipulators are buying the price of all the cryptos, driving it up and up and up and up and up. Crazy run from mid-November to mid-December. 325% run to $20,000. And here's what happened on $20,000 at $20,000. This is an analysis of the sales from the Mt. Gox Trustee. The Mt. Gox Trustee had control of all the cryptos that were part of the Mt. Gox Bankruptcy, over a couple 100,000 Bitcoin. But the way the bankruptcy is structured, the bankruptcy court, which is part of this criminal cabal, was required to pay off all the creditors in yen and basically in fiat money as of the time of the bankruptcy, which means all the holders of Bitcoin in Mt. Gox got screwed because they only got $450 for their crypto when it was up at $20,000, right? So what does this trustee do? Does he decide to go with big lot sales that everybody, Kraken had approached the trustee many times saying, you can't dump these on the market or you'll destroy the price. We have buyers who will buy them for me. And they never did it. And absolutely set it up so that they sold in increments to suppress the price. It started on December 17th, right when Bitcoin hit $20,000. That was the planned dollar amount to start the sales. And that's what you have, a Bitcoin sale right here of 2,000 Bitcoins sold to price the cap, or to cap the price right at $20,000. So it hit 20,000, bang! All of a sudden, the first sale of the price, the planned price suppression of real Bitcoin. Now, all these can be sold in mass rehypothecation on the exchanges because the exchanges don't deal in real Bitcoin unless you pull the Bitcoin out. So along with this physical Bitcoin sale, you've also got the electronic shorts and all the crap that they can do, including the COMEX crap, although the COMEX wasn't very big. I mean, it's tiny compared to the size of the other markets. So definitely they colluded with the trustee of Mt. Gox. Also, before they got 20,000, there was all kinds of things happening in the media. They got CNBC to talk about Bitcoin like it's a great thing, and they even got Roger Ver to talk about it on December 20th, right at that time when it peaked out. So you got the media involved, you got the Mt. Gox trustee, and then the key is looking at these trustee sales. The first sale was $2,000 to cap it at 20. The second sale, within like just a few days, there was some evening out right around the $17,000 mark, and everybody thought, oh my God, the floor had built so fast. So a lot of people started piling in again, and the floor was getting stronger. And then all of a sudden, before it broke out, bang, another sale. This time 3 times as many Bitcoin, 6,000 Bitcoin. It broke the $17,000 stabilization, cracked it down all the way down to 12,000. Huge hit, which sustained the market suppression for a while. It took a while to get over that one. So by the end of December into mid-February, you can see the Bitcoin price was basically wobbling between 16,000 and 12,000, going back and forth. You know, it tested it twice, and then it gets to right here. It starts going up, and what happens? bang, another huge sale, even more Bitcoin, 8,000 on January 17th, driving the price down below 10,000, which was a big marker. And then it hovered around 10,000. And just as it was starting to get a little weaker, bang, another huge sale, 6,000 Bitcoin on January 31st, preparing for the final smash of this is just using the cryptos, the Bitcoin from the Mt. Gox Trustee. You can see it started to level out about 8,000, and right at 8,000, they dumped 45% of all the Bitcoin held for this sale to cover the dollar amount owed to the claimants in the bankruptcy case. And that was 18,000 Bitcoin on February 5th. 18. Not only was it that big of a sale at the lowest point in the market, which is obviously not trying to maximize the value of this stuff, but also on February 2nd, just that same weekend, Bank of America, Citigroup, Capital One, JP Morgan all came out and said they're going to stop allowing people to charge on Coinbase buy Bitcoin or any cryptos with their credit cards. And that was another reason everything just got thrown at the price of Bitcoin to drive it down to about $6,000. And then right at the same time, you got Facebook comes out and say, we're banning all the crypto ads. These are all coordinated events. That's how much work it took to get the price of Bitcoin to dive the way it did. And then, and from that point on, it was really about just recovering the sentiment. Everybody was down in the dumps. Oh my God, Bitcoin's dead. And you got Tone Vays saying, "Oh, I'm an expert trader. Bitcoin's going to go down to $1,000, $1,500, and all the mockingbirds are coming on." I don't think Tone Vays is in on it. I think Tone Vays is an idiot. That's the problem there. But so that's what happened, and it was coordinated sales. And the funny thing is, this trustee didn't sell all the crypto he needed to cover the claims. There's about $20 million left, which is tiny. It's like 5% of what he should have sold if he was really dumping to cover all the claimants, but he wasn't. He wanted to save a little and then he came out and said, well, we're not done selling and we have 160,000 Bitcoin still, and they only sold 40,000. Well, the reality is they don't need 160,000 to pay off the claimants. Those 160,000 go back to Mark Karpalis and Mt. Gox. He's already said he doesn't want them, obviously. I mean, they're not his. They were the owners of their Bitcoin who held it on Mt. Gox. So that's kind of the way it went down, and there was more and more things that came out too, all timed perfectly. A lot of sovereign FUD. A lot of countries saying, "Oh, we're going to ban this and we're going to ban that," all coordinated. And then you got the SEC in April. Right now, the other part is, when are they going to end this thing? And all the end of last year and the beginning of this year, IRS kept coming out and saying, "Oh, you got to pay your taxes on cryptos. You got to pay your taxes on cryptos." And it was all part of the thing, part of the way to get people to sell your cryptos, especially into April, because everybody had to sell their cryptos to pay taxes, and people were holding off to the last minute. And then obviously they held the price down too long, and people had to sell, which continued the selling pressure. The minute, almost to the second, that you couldn't sell your crypto in time to get the cash out into your bank account to pay your taxes, which was a day or two ago, because they usually take 4 or 5 days or a week to get your money into your bank account, and then it's got to hit the bank account and all that. So almost to that second, boom, the price of cryptos jumps up. So everybody had already sold, but also all the crypto buyers didn't have any liquidity because they had just paid all their taxes. So that was the perfect timing for the bottom of this official suppression. A couple more things that they did during the process. The SEC charged the first ICO securities fraud case against Centra, which is a big deal. It's the first time they came out and said, this ICO is criminal and we're going to bust you for it. There are a few reasons they did it. One, Centra lied profusely in their ICO. I don't think they're criminals. I think they're idiots. And then they continued with their ICO even after the SEC. It was, I think, the end of July that after the SEC came out about the DAO and said, well, upon analysis, this does look like it was a security, and it should have been, this is what we're going to say the basis. We're not going to charge these guys, but going forward, you got to make sure if you're a security, you got to go through the proper hoops. And these guys didn't. They came out with their ICO after, and there was just everything wrong with it. I bought into that ICO too on Cliff's recommendation because it got screwed up in his data and all this stuff. And I found out a lot of there was fraud and all this stuff going on, and I sold. So I lost like 50% of my investment almost within a week, which was tough. So I should be part of this lawsuit, really. Because that's the funny thing. The SEC will charge all these people. And where's that money go? It should go to the people who lost the money, right? So I'll be knocking on the SEC's door and say, hey, where's my compensation for the money I put into that ICO? But, who knows? Who knows what goes on in the back rooms. And so that's kind of the way it went down and the way it was orchestrated. But normally in these situations, you look at the final death smash. In natural gas, that was allowed to go from $6 down to $2. That was a death smash. Nobody thought it could go under $5. In silver, obviously, there was death smashes all over the place. But those were really trying to destroy those markets for years. I don't think that's going to happen this time. I don't think they're going to try to destroy the cryptos for years. So I don't think there will be a death smash. I think they're done. So I don't see Bitcoin or the cryptos going under 6,000. Anything's possible. We hodl. The only way to get through this is to hodl. So make sure you're hodling out there, and make sure you kind of go through all the try to see through the manipulation. And some of the other things that happened is the Google ban, the Twitter ban, the YouTube ban of ICO ads, and this bastard, Brad Sherman, came out in that interview saying, Bitcoin's a crock. It has no social use. I mean, it was obvious he was just poking the bear to get us riled up about his stupidity. His comments will go down as the stupidest comments in the history of Congress. And this guy is absolutely criminal. I mean, his largest donor is a payment processor of fiat money. And I hear there's some other things going on with Mr. Brad Sherman as far as, shall we say, in the other investigations into sexual misconduct, shall we say. And this guy fits the bill perfectly. We will see what happens with him. He should be strung up, and hopefully he will. And then that's kind of it for today. I just wanted to give you guys kind of a background of where I see the manipulation happened. It was all coordinated. Bitcoin is as strong as ever. The cryptos are as strong as ever. I think this is the end of it as far as, after tax day. And then we'll be free to move up. Slow and steady is the best way this goes. There's still going to be control and manipulation exerted, but the laws will be to protect Bitcoin and the cryptos because there's definitely problems with the unbacked fiat system coming down the pike, especially with Deutsche Bank's problems, announcements of the CEO leaving, and the potential downgrade, which will trigger a lot of the derivatives. And then if Deutsche Bank goes, you can kiss all the derivative players goodbye, which means the financial system goes. Hopefully, they'll try to stagger it over a number of years. But if not, get ready to just hang on for dear life with anything in your hand. Again, get out of the system, get out of the exchanges, get out of anything that is not in your control. All right, that's your update for your Friday road trip. I will be posting this to the public in a few weeks. Just a heads up on that. This is Big Weir. I'll talk to you later.